Hello, in this video I'm gonna help you understand what are the difference between this low ball here and also a little bit higher, and essentially to understand that not every ball you're gonna hit the same, every shot is different, the depth of the ball, the spin of the ball, the height, so you need to change and adapt. This video is part of our playlist to master your tennis forehand in 2026. I'm gonna give you 7 lessons and this is inside the playlist. You can watch, save and share with your friends. So hopefully you can take notes here and try to practice during the week to come back for the next week and see if you can already feel the difference. So basically you need to understand that when the ball is lower, of course you cannot hit this ball the same way you hit when the ball is here. And also the technique I recommend a little bit different and you will understand why. But I can say already that my goal as a tennis player, not as a coach, was to play as fast as I could and as safe as possible. So when I wanted to play matches, I wanted to be aggressive, but at the same time I wanted to be safe because I don't want to lose. And I understand that unless you are super professional like top 10 or top 100 in the world, our level, your level, the winners are those who can play consistently and can play one more ball to the other side than the opponent. So if you can always play one more ball back, you never lose, or for another words, you always win. So that's your goal. And now you understand that if the ball is lower, first you need to help with your legs, and then you need to understand if the ball is lower but is deep, because you can have a ball that is low and super deep, so you cannot close your stance, you cannot have a closed position, you need to open. And if the ball is low and short, of course you can and you should play with closed stance, because you're going to use more your body weight and you're going to generate more power on the ball, spending less energy. That is your goal. So if the ball is super low and fast and deep, you need to play with open stance, and you need basically to play and stay by holding your position low and stay balanced to hold the weight of the ball. And the priority is to stay low, keeping your eyes on the ball and to hold the power of the ball. That is the priority of this ball. If the ball is lower, I'm gonna talk about the technique after that. If the ball is lower but short, you have time to do this step here, 1, 2 double step, basically almost every time you do this. And then if the ball is lower, I recommend always to go lower with this leg. So usually don't go low like that, so you don't bend your knees like this, you bend this way. You can see many professional players doing that. There is also a viral backhand from Sinner where it does exactly this. So basically you do 1, 2 double step, this leg is lower, and here you can generate more power because you have space and your racket can go here, and then from here you either play and stay or you play and move forward. About the technique, if you are a beginner, this video is a little bit more difficult. You're not going to do this in 1 week, but you can try, you can repeat as many times as possible, and hopefully you can even do in 1 day or 2 days, because more repetitions you do, faster you'll get the feeling. But accept that this is a journey, and it's not because you watch some videos on some techniques that you're going to be a master in 1 day. So basically, if you have a normal forehand and if you follow my videos, you understand that I always recommend to have this first position, to play and to finish imagining you answer the phone here. In this ball, when the ball is lower, what you want is to generate more topspin and be consistent. And the technique that myself and what I consider more safe and more efficient is to, instead of catching the ball here in the end, instead of playing and holding the ball here, doing this, okay, what I recommend is to play the racket, to play the ball and to catch the racket from the inside. So basically, instead of catching the racket here, to catch from the inside, keeping your elbow up. So basically what I watch most of the times is people playing from this pocket to this pocket where the elbow is here. And even though this shot can go in, because I can play this inside of the court, this is not the ideal. The ideal is to play low here, and instead of doing this, because the ball goes super flat and no angle, you want the ball to go a little bit higher, to go over the net, and then to drop the head of the racket, because you relax too much in this position. But the elbow is always up because you want the ball higher and you want to generate more topspin. And also, when you finish, more space you have between this forearm and the body, deeper is the ball. And in the end, playing deep is one of the best things you can play or you can do when you play tennis, because it's more difficult for me to play a ball that is coming close to the line than a fast ball but is short, where I can just come here and block the ball to the other side. So playing deep is one of the best strategies in tennis. Considering all of that, so the goal is to prepare the racket, understanding also that the loop is going to be different, because if you have more time, you can do a bigger loop, or you can do this, or you can do here if you have more time to increase the loop of the racket and generate more power. If the ball is lower, doesn't make sense to go here if the ball is there. So if the ball is lower, you just need to prepare low, okay? And if the ball is low but too fast, you don't even have time to do this loop. So if the ball is low and too fast, you can just open and play, because you don't have time for more. So if you don't have time, the goal is to have the racket here. And remember, the most important thing when you play tennis, if you want to play consistent and powerful, is to have the head of the racket below the ball. So if you always have the head of the racket here below the ball, it's really difficult to miss, as I always mention in my videos. Then once you have this position, you play. Imagine you hit the ball here, then go a little bit higher. Imagine you have one ball here and the ball a little bit higher, and then 1, 2, and then you finish and you completely relax. The hand is like dead here. And this is going to generate much top spin, and you are super relaxed. That is the goal. Again, this is not in one lesson, it's not in 1 hour that you're going to play this shot really well, but over the time you can develop a really strong forehand. I missed this shot. But yeah, you understood the idea. You have many videos of me playing. I'm sharing more, as you are also asking for me to show more videos. I'm just playing for fun. I'm not competing. But yeah, that's my goal, is to have fun and to help you enjoy and have fun as well. Now, when the ball is higher, but I need more balls. I need to take them. And even before I talk about this high ball, I forgot to mention that, or I don't remember if I mentioned, I have my free PDF where I have the guide for you as a beginner or even intermediate players that want to have a really powerful forehand. I explain the grip with photos, many photos for you to see the best grip, the semi-western grip, as well as I write there the biggest mistakes you do when you start to play tennis or when you start to use this grip, what you're gonna miss and how you can fix. So I hope this helps, and thanks for all of you that are already signing up for that free PDF and reading and trying to learn and get better. Now, about the high ball, you also need to understand where is the ball, because the ball is high, but the ball can be high here, can be high inside of the court, on your left side, on your right side. In this video, I'm not going to talk about the high ball that is coming and you need to go back and do this power from one leg to another and then recover 1, 2 split step. It's not about this ball that I want to talk about today. I want to talk about the high ball, but that is bouncing inside of the court, and that you have the opportunity to attack and be more aggressive with this shot if you do the right thing. Because you can either wait and go back, or you can step in and take advantage of the ball. And this shot that I want to talk about, and this shot that I want to help you. So basically, in this side, you need to understand if the ball is higher and short, you have the option of playing with open or a little bit semi-open stance. And then while the ball is coming, the ball is bouncing. When the ball is bouncing, you adjust, okay? And then you jump from this leg to this leg, okay? And you do this, and here you have 2 techniques, and I use this because you can surprise your opponent every time you hit this shot. So basically, if you are prepared here, and if the ball is at your chest height, usually a little bit higher, but as you jump, you're gonna hit at your chest height or shoulder in the max. And if you play cross court, of course, you have this angle, and you can play normal with this angle 1, and you play and you close the head of the racket, and you can be more aggressive, playing a little bit more flat because the ball is here and you have the semi-western grip, this grip here, so you are comfortable to hit this shot. But if you see that your opponent already know that you want to play there, and if you want to change even last moment, you can, instead of hitting and closing the head of the racket, you can hit and go with the head of the racket this way. I spoke maybe too fast. Instead of doing this, okay, you do last moment this motion, and you finish with the racket here with the elbow high. So this is the first option where you can just go and play. And the last one, I'm gonna go a little bit more to this side because of the camera, but the last one is to play and do this motion here. And these you can play down the line, and you can change even the direction last minute, and you can do many winners with that. And of course, after this shot, you need to go to the net, and then you close with the forehand volley, short and cross court. If the ball is on this side, and one of the misconceptions I see in tennis is to read and to watch coaches or any other people around this tennis world saying that you cannot play balls over the shoulders. I don't agree. I never got injured, and basically, of course, if the ball is here, you need to jump, but considering that I'm not jumping now, if the ball is here and if you do the normal motion here, this normal motion when you brush the ball, okay, here, of course, here is really difficult. You don't feel any comfort on your shoulder, and actually this ball can generate more, I don't know, you can force more your shoulder and you can get injured. But if instead of this motion you do this motion here, especially from this side, instead of doing this here, which is really aggressive for your shoulder, if you just play and you relax completely, this is a really powerful forehand. Wait, I need to show you better here. So let's say the ball is here and you do this. I missed, I didn't want to play fast, but if you do here, okay, I miss it too, but I think you understand. So basically, if you do this motion, you are completely relaxed. I need to do one more, sorry. Here, and if you do this, you are completely relaxed, you don't force, and you can hit already these high balls. And actually, it's a super powerful shot. If you go to this side, and if you do this motion here, you can open the court a lot, and usually you can not only play cross court, but you can play cross court and wide a little bit more, where you put your opponent completely out of the court. This is my recommendation for you. Again, the footwork here is more this footwork here, where you need to be in semi-open stance, power on your legs, and then you are explosive. And then the recover, you already know, every time you hit the shots, even lower or high ball, you need always to recover this way. Here on this side you do 1, 2 split step to the middle, and when you play on this side here, for example, you always need to go to the middle if you want, otherwise you go to the net. But you can do 1, 2 split step. If you play here, okay, you do 1, 2 split step, or if you do inside out because you go forward, you do 1, 2 split step. This is all I wanted to talk for this video. If you want to go more in depth, you have my Forehand Mastery course, where you go step by step, where you can start or restart from zero. You have all the steps, all lessons that you need to start mastering your forehand. It's just a guide where you can go lesson by lesson. Don't skip lessons. You can have the footwork, the drills for non-dominant hand, drills for the contact point, drills for the top spin, drills for everything, for the open stance, for the closed stance. Not just the theory, but also the drills that you need to develop a really powerful forehand. The link is also below in the description. Already more than 20 countries, or people from more than 20 countries, are inside of this course, and is all I can give you to master tennis, the tennis forehand, and to enjoy much more. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.